Hey, so what does the N actually stand for in Elantra N?
Nice.
Maybe it's normal. I mean, it is still just an Elantra, right?
N stands for neck snapping. And it's for nope.
Or maybe it's for Hyundai's Namyang Development Center, or maybe even the Nürburgring where this thing was fine-tuned. Either way, this Elantra N is nuts. Welcome to the Driver's Line. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jordan.
And this is the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N. All right, it is a road series time. This is a new series here on the Driver's Line where we highlight one of our favorite roads in a fun car, which this week is the 2025 Hyundai Elantra N. And a huge thanks to Hyundai for lending us this excellent little sports sedan.
That's right. We've brought it up to Hanging Rock Park here in North Carolina to work it out on the NC66. So if you like car reviews, news, and shenanigans like our semi-supercar special, smash that like button and subscribe for more automotive action. Now, let's see what this Elantra N can do.
So we've talked about what the N stands for, and it's really everything we've discussed, right? It's about Nürburgring bred performance, it's about motorsports, and it's about that cheeky sense of fun.
All right, Mr. Enthusiast, show me.
Well, first off, I gotta say this intense blue is doing some heavy lifting. This color looks great on the chiseled body of the Elantra.
Yeah, it's loud, but it's subdued loud. Between the color and the gloss black grille and red highlights, it's way more aggressive than a regular Elantra.
Yeah, it's not just the paint. You know, we sit about half an inch lower than a regular Elantra, but you know, we've got that same wide stance. We've got the 72-inch wide stance. We've got a 107-inch wheelbase. It's a nice look on this Elantra.
Yeah, it's compact, but it's planted. You know, the proportions are really super taut. It's only 184 inches long, but everything is pushed out to the corner, so it makes it feel really planted.
Right, so Hyundai did not hold back on the details. The black lip spoiler up front, aggressive bodywork, rear spoiler, a big exhaust, and the rear wing and red highlights, it just all comes together in a fun boy racer stance.
Yeah, I mean, even the headlights look angry. I mean, they nailed the profiles. Super sharp. And those character lines on the sides, wow. And the roof line, I mean, it's got this coupe-like vibe to it.
We've got those blacked out 19-inch wheels. They look great, and they're forged on the 2024 and 2025 that we have here, so we've got a little bit less rotational mass as well, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, can we talk about the rear for a second? I mean, it might just be the most extra part of this car, but I love it. It's got that huge 3-post wing spoiler. It really shouts performance. It's got a black diffuser in the back, those big chunky dual exhausts with, of course, pops and bangs, because you need to have that in this segment. But it doesn't just whisper performance, because that just shouts it.
Yeah, it's a rolling flex. You know, if you park this thing next to a regular Elantra in the parking lot, this one looks like it went to the gym, right? It looked like it hit that gym and worked out.
All right, so those are things we do like. What don't you like about the Elantra styling?
Yeah, so, you know, with the refresh, they kind of put this odd hood cut line, so it doesn't really fit around the nose of this vehicle. I think it would look a lot better with a clamshell hood.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the styling of the old one was super busy and kind of looked unfinished, and the new one did such a great job updating it, but yeah, that cut line did not make sense. What also might not make sense to everybody too is kind of that boy racer styling to this. I mean, it's obviously super fun and entertaining to see, but you know, folks who aren't necessarily drawn to all the over-the-top styling elements. I'm looking at you, last gen Civic. They might be pushed away from this car.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and the wheel redesign is a bit plain. You know, mentioned that they're forged a lot lighter weight, but the wheel design on the original Elantra was so much more interesting to look at. So these are plain, they're black. Don't really fit, I feel like, with the rest of the ethos of the car. All right, Jordan, let's talk interior. The Elantra N really leans into the sporty roots with these N-Lite sport seats.
Oh yeah, they're wrapped in leather and Alcantara and have those trick illuminated N logos that are letting you know that this isn't your average compact sedan.
You know, and they've got manual adjustment, but I think that puts the focus on the weight and cost savings here. So, but they're seriously supportive, maybe a tad tight for, you know, bigger individuals like me, but you know, Hyundai really prioritized hold over plushness.
For sure. I mean, but there's still plenty of space in here too. I mean, there's over 42 inches of front leg room, and even in the rear passengers, they get 38 inches, which is great for this segment.
So the dash and center stack look really nice and upscale. We've got this blue stitching, we've got the blue striping on our gear selector as well. So they've tried to make it look a little bit upscale in here.
Yeah, and on the tech front, I mean, Hyundai rarely disappoints, right? And this is another great example of how they do technology so well. You got dual 10.25-inch screens, one for the driver and one for the infotainment, and they're both super crisp and responsive. Plus, it's paired with this Bose sound system, which does a great job playing tunes through your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That is wired.
Wired, unfortunately. But we do at least have a dual zone climate control, which is wonderful. We've got heated front seats and these N-Lite Sport buckets. And, you know, we've got digital key too, right? And so that allows you to use your phone as a key, which is really neat. You can also share that key with friends who, I don't know why you want them to borrow your Elantra N, but you could.
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't, but okay. Along with that, in the back, we got a trunk that swallows over 14 cubic feet, which is pretty good for the segment. And you get a rear folding seat back. It is one giant bench, so you got to fold the whole thing down together. And in your way, you do have a brace. Now, that brace is there to, you know, enhance rigidity for tough cornering, but you can still kind of squeeze some long skis through there, that kind of thing. So, you know, there's that.
Yeah, for sure. So, is there anything that you didn't like about the interior in this Hyundai Elantra N?
Well, I think it is an economy car, right? So there are some cheap materials here and there, but it's built to a price point. Let's be realistic. I think the biggest thing probably is like the wired Apple CarPlay. We haven't upgraded to wireless in this particular model. It's probably not a deal breaker, but you know, it's one thing that we've noticed.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer, you know. And we also have a little bit of limited rearward visibility, right, at the three-quarter view. So to try to give it that, you know, fun coupe-like profile, you know, they have a little bit of a large, you know, D-pillar back there, which is, you know, a shame, but you really don't, you know, you can look around it, right? So you don't have to have that issues. If you adjust your mirrors where they're supposed to be, you kind of only see it when you're looking back over your shoulder. Yeah,
it's certainly not the worst I've seen in the segment, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so I think we need to find a place to pull over and get you a turn behind the wheel of this Elantra N.
Sounds good. And it's time for your favorite segment, power. One press of this NGS button, woohoo, and the Elantra N really comes alive.
Yeah, it does. That is the N Grin shift, which gives you 20 seconds of overboost and sharper shifts, right? So it flashes a countdown timer, also kind of like a video game.
Yeah, and it's not just a gimmick either. I mean, this 2.0 turbo, it punches out 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque, and that N-Grin button is going to give you an additional 10 horsepower. So it feels way faster than those numbers are.
Yeah, you know, standard it comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, but our car has the 8-speed wet dual clutch, which is a $1,500 option, which might be just a tad less fun, but it makes this thing absolutely rip. It goes to 60 in less than 5 seconds and trips the lights of the quarter mile in 13.7 at about 104 miles an hour.
And the shifts are instant. It's one of the best dual clutches on the market. And in N mode, you get the rev matching, aggressive throttle response, and the steering really tightens up too.
Yeah, it does. And that exhaust, right? So when you lift, it burbles and pops on overruns. It sounds so good. It's kind of like a commentary track, you know. It's a little childish, but it is totally addictive.
Oh, what's also addictive is this handling. I mean, the chassis is so composed. It's front-wheel drive, but honestly, you never know it. I mean, it rotates out of turnings.
I know Hyundai reinforced the chassis with extra welds and some bracing, but you know, the real hero here is that N corner carving ELSD, which somehow manages to put power down both mid-corner and on corner exit.
What I also love are these adaptive dampers. I mean, in the regular mode, it's very comfortable. I mean, honestly, it's a great cruiser. But then when you shift it over to a sports suspension setting, everything tightens up and the handling gets so much better.
Yeah, and drivers can also select their preferred drive mode. We've got normal, sport, sport plus, and full-on N mode, or you can go ahead and put your favorite N custom mode by, adapting your steering, your throttle response, and your suspension. It makes for a really cohesive package.
And these brakes are solid too. It's got 14.2-inch rotors and calipers up front, developed in-house by Hyundai. They don't have to outsource it.
No, not at all. And they have a really good racy feel too, right? So it's not just the amount of pedal travel you have, it's really the amount of pressure you're putting on that pedal, which gives you that stopping power, which is really cool. So, what are some of the things you didn't like about the performance of this Hyundai?
Well, I mean, it's such a fun car to drive. It would be nice if you could use the launch control like regularly. It's a little finicky to use, honestly.
It is, and we're not the only ones who had a lot of trouble using this launch control. We've seen a lot of other reviewers and journalists have the same issue. It is kind of like trying to launch a missile, right? There's just a lot of different menus you need to go through, a lot of different settings you need to change in order to enable that launch control, and you got to get the pedal dance just right to make it build that boost right off the line and kind of zip you away to achieve those 5 seconds 0 to 60 times.
Yeah, another thing, I mean, I really like it. I know you do. The brake pedal feel, right? I think it's a really great feeling brake setup, very race-like, but I think maybe not everyone might like it.
Yeah, that just might be something that folks need to try out for themselves, go on a test drive at the dealer and see what you think, because that's a little bit different than most other, production, civilian type cars, right? It's something that you can find more in a race car that's built, or a purpose-built track car, but Hyundai says, we're going to go ahead and put that right in this Elantra N, and we absolutely love it because it gives you a great pedal feel, but it just might be something a little bit different than folks are using.
Absolutely. All right, and with this episode, we are kicking off a new series, the Road Series. When we get a fun car to drive, we're going to take it on one of our favorite roads in North Carolina.
That's right, and think of this as like your black book for the enthusiast roads in the Southeast, and we are starting with an absolute banger. We're going to go on NC 66 up here at Hanging Rock.
Yeah, and this is the road that the Elantra N was built for. It's got tight corners, it's technical, there's tons of elevation change, and low traffic. It's not the tail of the dragon, but I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini dragon, and the asphalt is also really decent too. And when you fold in some of the neighboring roads like 268 and 89, it becomes what I like to call the Hanging Rockenheim ring. Hairpins, sweepers, everything. You get to load up the suspension, trail brake. It rewards precise driving.
Yeah, and as an added benefit, you're only 5 minutes from one of the best hikes in the area, Hanging Rock Park. There's waterfalls, there's cliffs, there's panoramic views, and then you get to unwind on your drive back home.
That's right, and so this area north of Winston-Salem is really super underrated for the driving enthusiast, and if you're into that kind of stuff like we are, it is a small slice of heaven when you get lost in these hills.
As we head out of the twisties now, it's time for our favorite segment, Would You Rather?
That's right, so we're going to go ahead and pit this car against 3 competitors and say which one we would rather have. And the Hyundai Elantra N is an amazing sports car and represents a really, really strong value. Our tester comes in at $37,000, but let's see if we can find a better option. So, first up I have for you, probably the best one in the segment, the Civic Type R.
Civic Type R is a $47,000 starting price, but it does offer 315 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. That's 4.9 seconds, quarter mile in 13 and a half, but it's manual only.
It is. So what do you think?
Well, I gotta say, I'm a fan of a manual transmission, and the manual in that is really fantastic. But it's $10,000 more than this car.
$10,000 more.
I think with that 10 grand, we could spec this thing up and take it racing. With that extra money, I think it's a great buy at this price.
You wouldn't just have to put it in TCR mode to make it sound like a race car, right? You would actually be able to make it be a race car for that kind of money if you wanted to, or you could just bank that 10 grand, right, and have something that is 9/10 as good as that Civic Type R. So yeah, I'm definitely taking this over the Type R. All right, a little surprising how well the N stacks up against that, for $10,000 less. Yeah. But let's go ahead and pivot to your favorite brand. So next up, I have the Volkswagen Golf R. Oh, God. $47,000 starting, 328 horsepower, 4.5 seconds to 60, under 13 seconds in the quarter mile, but DSG only, and of course, all-wheel drive.
Well, like I said earlier, I like a manual transmission. The Golf R no longer offers that, although it does have a killer DSG transmission in there. But, you know, other than that, I mean, I think this is just so much more engaging to drive. Even though the Golf R is all-wheel drive and has a sick all-wheel drive setup, this is just so engaging and fun. The Golf R is just kind of too grown up.
Yeah, it did, and that's why I'm making the same choice again. So we're headed in the direction of a 3 for 3, which is kind of interesting.
Let's see.
But you know, my sense of value, the value proposition of this car is so good, and it handles exceptionally well. It handles better than the Golf R.
Yeah.
The only thing you're lacking is that, you know, DSG is slightly better, yes, if you want to go with a DCT, or you can get this in a manual. And you get less piano black in this. You get a little bit more hard plastic, which is a bit of a bummer, but again, over $10,000 cheaper. So I'm going to go with the Elantra N as well, kind of surprising myself as a former S3 owner. So that was a bit of a surprise, you know, given your love for the, you know, Mark 8 Golf. I know you love that so much, but, you know, let's see if we can get a closer price candidate. And so we're going to go ahead and strip out that value proposition. So next up, we've got the Toyota GR Corolla. So starts at only $39,000. 300 horsepower, 4.9 seconds to 60, 13.5 seconds through the quarter, and it comes with all-wheel drive.
Well, I gotta say, I think I'm a sucker for a little hot hatch. This is really fun, but so is the Corolla, and that it's so spunky with that little 3-cylinder turbo. I gotta go with the Corolla, actually, on that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. That is a tough call because, you know, it's missing a cylinder versus this. You know, you got all 4 here, so I'm going to be Team Elantra again. I'm going to take this over the GR Corolla, even though it is fun. Like the GR Corolla, that one is tough. That one for me is like darn near a coin toss.
Yeah.
But just the way we've been zipping this thing around in the mountains, like this does not feel like a front wheel drive chassis. It handles amazingly. The rotation on turn-in matches a car like the GR Corolla, which is unbelievable.
No, I'm totally with you. I think it's a really hard pick between the two. I mean, I wouldn't lose any sleep, you know, owning one of these, either one of them.
No, absolutely. Yeah, agreed. All right, well, there you have it, folks. So we just need to find a place to pull off for our final thoughts. All right, guys, we have pulled off here off of NC66, an absolute wonderful piece of tarmac, literally right behind us here. And we've had a ball driving this Elantra N around these wonderful roads, but it is time for our final thoughts, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that we loved about this car first. And first off is performance.
Yes, a road like this really highlights all the benefits that you get from buying a little hot sedan like this, right? It handles so well. It's like it's driving on rails, even though it's a front-wheel drive car. It's incredible.
It is incredible. And you know that ELSD that they put in there just works some absolute magic. Gripping that small diameter steering wheel just gives you this immediacy of turn-in. You get rotation, you get pops and bangs, you get this excellent DCT or a great 6-speed manual if you choose that as well. It gives you everything you want on a road like this, and it is just wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Hyundai for offering choices between a manual and an automatic. It's not something you're seeing in the segment now. A lot of folks are stepping away from that. And that brings us to the next point. Just overall performance of this car. It's such a balanced package between its braking capabilities, its handling capabilities, its power, and the fact that you can press the red button on the steering wheel and it goes all crazy. I mean, it's really just such a fun car to drive and makes you feel so young inside, right, when you're driving it.
It really does. And the other thing that we absolutely love is just what a value this car brings to the segment. I mean, you're priced like a Civic Si, but you're nearly Type R performance. This thing is like 9/10 of Type R. Yeah. Which is just unbelievable at $10,000 less.
Yeah, I mean, that is a ton of money that you can use if, you know, track driving is something you're interested in. You can put it towards gear, equipment, I mean, lodging, going to places. I mean,
or just your track day costs, right?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're spending $500 or $600 a weekend to go drive on a track, but this thing is ready to do it outside the box. This thing, we could have taken it to VIR and showed up, and it would have not let us down. Yeah. Every component about this car feels well made, well engineered, and well, you know, ready for the track as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great value, but, you know, with that value idea does come some drawbacks, and I think the biggest one that you're going to see in this particular one is just sitting inside of it. Some of the materials on the inside just really aren't up to par with the competitors in this segment, but, you know, there's a reason that it costs the amount it does, right? So.
Yeah, you know, they've cheaped out on the interior. I mean, again, you know, this was an Elantra that came around in like 21, 22, I think. So a lot of that dates back to that time, right? So expectations were slightly different back then, and technology is the same, right? We've got wired Android Auto, wired CarPlay. Pretty much every competitor right now uses wireless, right? So it makes it a little bit easier. I mean, you know, me and my 10-year-old Cadillac, I got to plug my phone in too, so it doesn't bother me. But when you have that expectation set, right, it's going to bother someone who wants just their phone to connect to their infotainment right when they sit down in the car.
Yeah, this has been traditionally a strength that Kia and Hyundai have had, right? Packing as much technology in their cars as possible. You still have some great features in there, like wireless charging, so it does seem odd that some of these features are missing.
And so that really brings us to the point that we absolutely adore about this car. This thing is competing in a segment that is really above its class, but it is doing it for a really reasonable price. We're about $15,000 less than the average transaction price of a new car. We're about $10,000 less than its actual competitors. And to have manufacturers actually building vehicles like these right now for this price point, they need to be rewarded. So you need to go out there and get yourself an Elantra N right now and support that enthusiast lifestyle.
And on that fantastic revelation, it's time to end.
Thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on The Driver's Line. Hit that like button and subscribe for more car reviews, specials, and podcasts.
A special shout out to our partner Prestige Auto and North American Vehicle Services for fleet management, keeping us fueled up and on the road, enabling us to keep bringing great content to you. All right, my turn, and it's time for... Okay.
Sorry.